Heyo, and welcome back to the channel. Sorry for the delay in videos. Between life and lack of game choices, I didn't get around to making a video. But now I am. 7 Days to Die. This game has inspired me to get back into it, at least for a minute, and we need to cover some stuff. This is another phenomenal survival game with a really bad tutorial. At least it has a tutorial, which is more than I can say for some, but it is insufficient. So this is a guide for new players that have never played it before, or they're wanting to get into it for their friend or whatever, or they're new to survival games in general. This is a really good one to start with because it is a lot more customizable than most that I've seen. In fact, than any that I've seen. So, in this first video, I mainly wanted to cover that. If you already know how to customize all this stuff, groovy, you can move on to the second video. Otherwise, you might learn something here. We're going to go ahead and start with starting a new game. Now, as you can see here, I've been playing around quite a bit. We are going to make a new game. We're going to call it, I don't know. Let's stick with Mino and friends. Maybe I'll have a few friends join me. So we'll call this Mino and friends. Here are the settings, or some of the settings that you can change. Under general, obviously, friends, max players, yada yada. Here's the basic difficulty setting. Easy, regular, hard, that sort of thing. And the 24-hour cycle is just how long the days last. Default is 60 minutes. I boosted it to 120 because I like being lazy about things. So there you go. Now, under basic, you have all kinds of changes that you can make. I was making a nice little lazy run before. Default blood moon frequency, which that is the ticking time bomb of this game, is a horde that knows exactly where you're at and comes to mess you up every 7 days. It doesn't have to be 7 days. You can make it 9, 10, whatever. Push it as far as 30 days, or you can go absolutely the other direction, make it as much as every day, or just disable it. If you want a Walking Dead simulator, set everybody to walk. There you go. Easy as can be. None of the zombies will do anything much more than shamble at you, so you can outrun anybody if you wanted to play that way. All the way to making them all just at nightmare speeds come and destroy you. Whatever you feel comfortable with. You can turn this zombie feral sense on, which that is a booger. That means feral zombies, which is the special horrible zombie. They will come at you. They will come at you, doesn't matter. It's almost like it's horde night for them all the time. Awful. XP multiplier, if you want to make the game go a little faster for your levels, you sure can. Or if you're an absolute masochist, or no, it'd be sadist, sorry. If you're an absolute sadist, slow it down. So that's entirely up to you too. And then under advanced, you can actually change, block damage, AI, block damage, how much loot you get, respawn times, amazing stuff. But one of the more amazing things about it is you can even make a custom map. If you go through your list, as you can see, I've generated many maps. Somewhere down the list will be a new custom map. There we go. New random world. If you go to advanced generation, this is where the map gets built. Now, the world seed is anything you want it to be. There's some on the internet you can find. You can enter anything you want. You can make one with your name, like that. You can make one that's absolutely built for a 12-year-old, like that. And, you can make something that makes just random characters. So any of that works. All of that will work as a seed. We're going to be 12-year-olds, and I'm going with Dookie. Number of towns, many. Wilderness, points of interest, I want a lot of those. Rivers, default, I don't care so much. Cracks and craters, let's do few. Those are painful. Nothing random. Randomize will just randomize the settings that I'm putting in. I'm putting them in for a reason. Yeah, this looks nice and tranquil. Let's generate the world. Generally, this takes about 5 minutes, so I'll do an edit here, but that'll pop up here in a minute. See you in a minute. Okay, so after a bit of delay, the world is generated. If you mouse over the map and hold down the space bar, it will back up. Now, I've noticed sometimes it'll be nice, and you'll get these little glowy dots that'll tell you what the city is, and sometimes it's not so nice, and it won't show you that. Hey, look, it's being nice. Those glowy dots, that is civilization. And you can see the different biomes are all marked. So we're just going to zoom on out here and kind of see what our map looks like. So just like that. That is how the world generation map works. You can always change that. If you don't like the way this ended up, let's say you don't like the fact that the biggest city is over here in the desert, okay, we'll change a few things. Let's make cracks default, lakes mini, fewer hills, more plains, generate. And it will restart, and it will generate another one. You can also add another letter or two up here, change how you spell it, make it D00KIE if you want to keep the same joke, however you want it to work. And you can constantly generate new maps that you can play on. Pretty neat. So now that I'm locked into this, I'm going to sit around until it finishes so I can exit out. And there are a couple more tricks to the map menu that I want to show you before we move into the actual game. Alright, the new Dookie world is generated, and as you can see, it is a slightly different map. Same general outline of the world, but different locations of the cities and whatnot. We're going to save that. East Arium Territory. Remember that. Okay, so when you're setting up a new game, Mino and friends, New Random World is not what we want now. That world now exists. There it is. See? So you pick it from your list. And as you can see, I have made many, many worlds playing around with the generator. You get some pre-gens, but yeah, you can make as many as you want, I think. That's neato. Another trick, though, is over in Editing Tools. In the main menu, if you look under Editing Tools, you can, Prefab Editor, you can make a point of interest, an entire city block. And then in World Editor is a first-person God mode editor of the world you're choosing. So, like any world I've made, I can just open up, go into this mode, and add entire buildings, entire neighborhoods, delete whatever I don't want there. It is crazy what you can do with it. And crazy to the point there are entire tutorials just for the editor part. So if you like editing worlds, you're going to have fun over here. Meanwhile, though, we're going to make a new game. We're going to go into our Dookie world, which is, yeah, there you are. And just because we're going to try to make this as easy as possible, let's, kind of like the 24 enemy idea and walking zombies. And we're going to go kind of with a Romero type feel. We're going to boost the XP just because I want to be fast about this. I don't want it to take forever to show you some neat stuff. Yeah, default difficulty is fine. I do like that daytime thing. Loot for the same reason. I want it to be a little faster. Airdrops. Forgot to tell you about airdrops. Every however many days you want, a plane comes by, drops a crate of stuff. It's really neat stuff. First come, first serve, but on a single player mode, that means you. They can be marked or not marked. You want them marked if you want to see them. That's neato. And another thing that you can do, there we are. Yeah, under advanced, the drop on death. Now, normally it's everything, and that means you wake up at your spawn point naked, and you have to go get your stuff. If you want to make death meaningless, you can drop nothing. Drop nothing on quit, drop nothing on death. Death will basically mean that you respawn back at your save point in full health, fully healed, and with all your stuff. You're just back at your save point. So, you know, it's a good way to learn. It takes a lot of the challenge out, but it's a good way to learn if you're trying to figure out the basic mechanics. So, we're not going to do that here. I know how to do things, at least enough for that. I'll probably die several times, but I do know how to do that. So, we're going to start a game in Dookie World. So when you start up, it's going to start you into their basic tutorial, which, you know, again, I'm making this video because it's not great. Right now we're going to ignore that. We're running up on the end of this particular video, but there are a few tricks that I wanted to show you that are technically menu options. So it's stuff the tutorial doesn't explain and really should. So I'm just gathering up some wood here real quick. I'm gonna need a couple of rocks too, I believe. Yes. And I'm gonna make a stone axe and a frame shape. In fact, we're gonna make 2 of those. Okay, so in your inventory, which is tab, that they'll tell you, you drop and drag into a hotbar, pretty standard controls, and then the mouse wheel to move. Frame shapes is something they'll make you build, which if you build the generic frame shape they give you, you get a block. And it makes you think you have to build like Minecraft. You do not. Pick that up. When you're on the frame shape itself, if you hold down R, you get this little menu. One of them is shape. Look at all these shapes. You can make it anything you want. Not only can you make it anything you want, you can search for it. So like say you want a ladder piece. Ladder. Here are the ladder pieces. There's one. Okay, great. See, now it's a ladder. And you can rotate, and it also has those special little like advanced rotate. And now it'll do all kinds of crazy stuff inside that cube. You build in a cube, and so each shape you pick is just going to go in that cube on that shape. If you want a flat plate, easy enough, just go to plate. And there are several to choose from. We just want the generic plate. There we go. And you can do the same thing, advanced rotate. And you have a wall. Just like that. See? And when it asks you to upgrade a shape, for some reason it doesn't tell you this either unless they fix it in a patch. Pull out the axe and right click. That's it. That's what it wants you to do. Okay, now that we've gotten frame shapes out of the way, I just wanted to point out that most of the things that you can just tap, like ER, the control keys, if you hold it down, you get menus in the same way. Just like you can pick those alternate frames. Let's say, yes, make a bow, and we're going to craft stone arrow to go along with it. Now you notice if I search in here for arrow, this is a search engine also that they don't point out. The different arrows, you notice there's iron arrows and steel arrows that you can eventually build. I don't have that, but you can build them eventually. What's neat about that is the ammo type is held the same way. If you tap R, you reload the current ammo you're using. If you hold R, you can choose the different ammo you want to use. That's how you swap between them. So, holding down the key. They don't tell you that. You should do that. Experiment. There's fun stuff buried in there. I'm going to meet you over in video number 2, where we can get into some general startup tips and tell you how to actually get started in the game. Alright, hey, thanks for joining. Talk to you guys soon.